Welcome to the
Green Room.
Paints, Games, Chats.
Come into the Green Room.
This is where the party's at.
Green Room.
We got guests here to stay.
Welcome to the Green Room.
Best party of your day at the Green Room. Hello. Welcome to the Green Room, presented by Sprint. Just kidding. We're not presented by Sprint. My lawyers told me I'm not allowed to legally say that, so anyway, we are presented by Ghostlight RPGs. Welcome! If you've never been to Ghostlight RPGs, we are a community of theater artists and beyond, working to keep the lamp lit, even while theaters go dark. So we are telling stories, we're playing games, we're building a community of like-minded individuals, and some individuals who maybe are different. Are of different minds. Speaking of individuals with minds, I haven't even introduced myself yet.
I mean, you fit into that category too.
Yeah,
you have a mind.
I have a mind. My name is Justin. I am your host. My pronouns are he, him, and I would like to introduce a dear, dear guest, Carson Wright. Hello, Carson.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for choosing to spend a Wednesday night talking with me on Zoom.
Oh, a little do you know, this has been on my bucket list of activities for Wednesday nights, and so I'm very, very happy to be here.
Is it really? That's so.
Yeah.
That's special. Thank you. Hello.
Of course.
Hey, what's up, chat? Chat. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have Kate. We've got some loser named Fishing G.
Who is that guy?
Not
Must
sure.
be a real. What? He's into fishing? Jeez.
Yeah. Some keys here. We got ECAT Carter. We got the whole gang's here, everyone. If we were going on a scavenger hunt, this is the group I'd want.
Me too, frankly.
Yeah. That's the new qualifying factors. So, if you are new, what are you doing? Watch The Contraband, because Carson's in it, and he plays a character named Aldo Basran. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Aldo
That's
Basran.
how I say it most of the time.
Let's say it in your character's voice, though.
Aldo Basran. Yes.
Aldo Basran.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
He's
Yo,
a favorite.
Mastro, what's up?
Whoa, we got the chat hopping.
Chat's hopping. We're popping. So, Aldo Basran, you can find on The Contraband on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Chat, who's been watching? Who's been watching The Contraband? Raise your hand. Give a shout out. Who's your favorite character?
I recognize some of these people. Yeah, nobody say Aldo Basran because oh, you might. Maybe you will.
Will we learn more?
Yeah, I
Time
hope so.
will tell.
And what kind of secrets will I give away?
I don't know. So Carson, see, this was a happy accident that you're my only guest, because I feel like the two of us are just gonna get loopy together tonight.
Oh, I think so. I think we're ready for it.
We're gonna get a little crazy. We'll get to questions eventually. I'm enjoying this little.
Yeah, I like
Slow
kind of feeling the
chat.
vibe, seeing who's here. I'm really happy that Kate and Sumkey are here to probably pun something that I say or you say at some point.
Yep.
That's been one of my favorite parts about
They
running the
are
Contraband with Ghostlight.
The punners on the scavenger hunt squad.
I thought the chat just said Aldo and Hicks are a fantastic painting, which now I'm really interested in commissioning a painting of Aldo and Hicks.
What would you be doing in the painting?
Oh, I mean, you've got two versions of this painting. One is the capture the moment of getting stabbed with some unknowable substance that Aldo has put into his syringes for some kind of test. I kind of like that capturing of a moment. The other one would be like, I imagine it being very portrait style, but Hicks is behind with his probably some, most of the chest showing and Aldo's just in front, just smiling, looking nice. just like a happy pairing. We've been through a lot, honestly.
That's
Hicks
like
and Aldo.
2 full wall fulls of paintings.
Oh wow,
portraits
this
that
is
you could have
escalated.
there. You could have
Yeah,
2.
like full fresco, like.
Mm-hmm. What if one of them was the syringe going in, and then Hicks's like, dreamscape from there?
That would honestly, I'm a little bit. It's a little dangerous how excited this is making me. Just
That's what we
honestly.
do here. We hike up the danger of excitement.
Yes.
Chat, as per usual, if there's ever any questions you want to ask our guest, do so. I mean, probably like appropriate questions though. Come on, you guys. Come on, we have fun. So let's start with some questions that I have for you, my dear friend Carson.
Yes, hit me.
Let's start with, who the heck are you? Like, how do we even know each other?
Who am I?
Who am
gosh,
I?
we're gonna get very existential.
Big question to start with, I realized.
Who am I? Identity is such a interesting topic. It is funny how we've come to know each other, I guess. I mean, the short version of that story is, you know Graham, I know Graham. That's the hinge point there.
I realized as I asked that question that I've stopped asking that question to most of my guests, because the answer is always one of 2 things. Either we did theater together, or Graham introduced me to you.
Yeah.
And so I've just kind of stopped asking the question. But yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. It's funny because I feel like I know you so well. And maybe it's just because I watch you through the windows a lot, but also on the stream. And like, I seriously thought you had already been on the Green Room.
That's flattering.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, we'll go.
I think it's flattering only because I don't know. I think there's a certain amount of playing, the game, especially in like a streaming setting, playing for people that, is even more than, theater can be. It's so much of yourself that's like out there.
Yep.
In front of people. And so I don't know, I guess it's flattering because it's like, oh, I'm glad there's like something of me coming out that feels like genuine and makes you feel like you know me better than we do. But we're not complete strangers. We spent several we've now
hours
known each other for weeks, months even.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
All across the magic of the internet. So
yes, which
thank you. 5G. Lost the thread there. So there is a question in the chat. Could you possibly explain your Twitch username for us?
Okay, so the username, I wish I had been one of those people that had branded themselves online as, I'm a gamer at the table, in role playing, and also, of course, I love to play, video games of types and across consoles, and mostly PC and Nintendo, let's be honest. But I wish I had been better about that, because my online presence in the gaming world is known by many things. Sometimes this is G, who is my main character on World of Warcraft, an undead shadow priest. Although I am a holy priest right now, so I do healing.
You play a lot of priests.
Yes, I do. But the fishing aspect is there was I wouldn't even call this a streaming show, or even never even had ambitions to become anything, but I would get on with my friend from the guild, and we would fish and talk about the state of the game, usually at the end of kind of a patch cycle in World of Warcraft. So Fishing G became the username that I used for that, and have since just kind of kept with it, since G is sort of how a lot of people know me within my gaming community.
Yeah.
So.
I was really hoping it was gonna have something to do with catfishing, but that's good too.
I should get into catfishing.
You
know,
should.
that seems
There's a
seems
lot of
like fun.
Fun in it. It's a good hobby for sure. You meet a lot of people that way for sure. Yeah.
Yes, and for the horde, yes, indeed, for the horde. Although technically, I'm a little bit of an alliance person at heart, but all my friends play horde. But I love the horde. I'm a good role player, so I'm yeah.
Don't tell anyone. Don't
I'll
tell
say,
anyone.
I just like Anduin Rin. All right, call me crazy.
Call him crazy, folks. He likes Amber.
That's it, exactly. You know World of Warcraft.
I
like
know
anybody.
it. Oh, I wore the craft. Let me tell you what.
That's so good.
That's what
Bullseye.
I do. That's what
Bullseye.
I do. So, Kate has a good question, and we'll get to that question later, Kate. I promise. Let's start though at the beginning, at the very beginning, Carson.
Mm-hmm.
When you opened your little baby boy eyes, and you were introduced to the world of role playing. Talk to us about that, Carson.
I think this story is probably going to be similar to many that you've heard, or maybe resonates with people. But family was very musical, and like specifically musicals, and theater was a very big kind of aspiration as a kid. My older brother was in the theater in the high school, and it was as good as Broadway, obviously. And so like even as a little kid, a vibrant imagination, loved to play make believe and whatever else. The actual formalization of like, I'm going to play a role playing game, though, I think sort of started to crystallize. I think this is a funny story, but like my friend and I, we would make up games basically. Like I'd walk from my house to his house. This is in Arizona in the Tucson summers because we're dumb and it's, whatever. But as we walked, we would describe, fight scenes, and then we would use a system where basically one of us would pick a number between 1 and 10, and the closer you were to it was the higher the effect of the of whatever you're trying to do. And we just kind of like messed with that. And then it wasn't until my mom bought for Christmas a Dungeons and Dragons basic game like box that I think tricked a lot of, I think this was a genius branding move, because it tricked a lot of parents into buying what they thought was like a board game for their kids. Because I think my mom, like later in life, I played that with my brother. I basically GM'd, but mostly it was about dwarves trying to get ale back into their house. I remember it being very, very fun, and I played a dwarf cleric, and we'd play it out in our little backyard like tree house, and it was a blast. But later in life, I was playing in a Dungeons and Dragons weekly game, and I had my mom, and this is me at like 5 or 6 years old. My mom was visiting, and I asked her if she'd drive me to my friend's house to drop me off to play Dungeons and Dragons. And she thought that was, my mom is, bless her, I love my mom so much, but it's very much like, oh, that's whoa, Dungeons and Dragons, interest is that sounds fun. But obviously had probably got the little satanic panic of the 80s. So when I told her, I was like, Mom, I play Dungeons and Dragons because you bought Steven and I, my little brother, an actual box to play. And she was like, what? I would never. And I was like, why not, Mom? And so it's just funny to like think back. Like that was the first time I actually like sat down and played like a game with rules and learned, and picked up my first totems, my dice, which has obviously, I'm guessing anyone in chat right now would agree, we could all pull out our dice collections and have a fun little show and tell. But
boy, oh boy,
but I think
here for
like
days.
Oh, I know, gosh, oh my gosh, it's such a bad habit, but I love it. I will do it forever.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where I can like draw it to. I think I was a soul that was just ripe for playing role-playing games, and just lacked the the actual, like, I didn't know where to do it, where to get it. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
I love it. That's awesome. You have such a storied history with it. It's exciting. I mean, compared to like my personal story, which was like somebody taught it to me and I liked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yours is like, I was given the forbidden fruit as a child. My mother was ashamed.
That's what it felt like later. I was honestly surprised that she would deny it so hard, mostly because probably Dungeons and Dragons isn't cool, and every parent wants their kid to fit in and be cool or whatever. And I was like, Mom, come on, I'm a theater kid, choir kid, jazz band kid. I'm not.
I'm cool enough.
I'm cool in the circles I want to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, Kate.
I feel like we would have got along in
oh, guaranteed.
Yeah. There's,
I have a good sense.
We would have always got along.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think we all would have got along with Carson in high school, honestly. What's not to like? So now, you devote a lot of time to role-playing games, and I mean, we're not getting paid for this. There's no, at least I very rarely get paid for D&D, but it does happen, and I mean, maybe you do, I'm not sure, but
no, not me.
Like what brings you back? What keeps you coming back every time? Like, what do you love so much?
That is a good question. Because I really do love breaking something down and thinking like specifically about it, trying to kind of break it down into its parts to see like, what is this that's bringing me back?
Right.
And honestly, over the last year and a half, especially just because with this, I don't know if you guys knew there was a pandemic on, but
no, could you tell us more about that?
Oh, yeah, nothing big. Don't worry about it. But especially thinking about just like, there's I guess for me, it's honestly the thrill of, especially lately, of like discovery, the thrill of like the interaction with people, like learning about these characters I'm in this world with. Like, honestly, what's been super fun and I think gratifying lately is just like what people are bringing. It's funny because you're playing, it's so different than like theater. We're theater people where the show is written, or sometimes written, or mostly written, or whatever. There's just nothing quite like showing up, and yes, I am playing the game, but at the same time I'm like, have my popcorn ready for this scene between Brom and Varric going on, because like, and if you've watched The Contraband, what I'm talking about, just like, these scenes that pop up and crop in and out, or same with like watching Zoa, for instance, where, just getting super like jazzed and hyped by people's creativity and what they bring, and what is just like surprises me. It's just electric. I don't know. It's really like electricity is like, yeah, boogie woogie woogie. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like an energy that I think feeds me to be like, oh my gosh, did you know you were gonna? No, you did. That was crazy. Yeah. Like, oh, this is, or like choices I find myself making as Aldo that I had not thought about or considered, before I went into the session. I may have had some idea of like what I was thinking about or what I was going to try to do as far as my goals, but things always surprise me, and it's just so exciting.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I love it. I mean, it's the collaboration, it's the collaborative storytelling that I think personally for me is the driving factor. It's a rush you can't get.
Yeah, I was thinking about that very first. You were telling me, I think, about that first session when you asked your characters to introduce themselves and sort of their connection into the world in Zoa or whatever. And like Derek, to like out the gate, it was like, oh, and it seemed like it was like, that was like brand new to you as well. It was like so cool. Where it's just like, that it's just so, I don't know. It's very fun.
No, exactly. You had it exactly right there. Real quick, I do want to shout out the fact that Sumkey spent 2,500 of his valuable channel points to gift you an asset, which is something that only matters in Zoa, but it matters right now because he's gifting you a D&D beginner.
I want it. Yes, I want that. Yes, I love those beginner boxes, especially that one. I wish I could find. Like, I need to spend more time researching it because if I saw the actual handbook, like a PDF of it, I'd know exactly what it was. There was a cool dwarf fighter and a dwarf. Halfling. There was a halfling rogue with an L name. Anyway,
Larry.
I'll find this. No, it was Larry. Probably Larry.
Was it Larry? I got it
It's
right.
definitely Larry.
I'm a
Oh
genius.
my gosh! Thank you, Sumkey. I deserve it. Thank you.
Sumkey is, I was like, why would Sumkey spend 2,500 points on a joke? And then I said, it's Sumkey. Also, it's Sumkey, and Sumkey probably has like 100,000 points.
Probably.
Because they're at every stream, and we love them for it.
Absolutely.
Ram and Varric are fun. They are indeed. Ever been in a bad game? That's a good question.
Yeah. The games that sort of chafe me, that are not as fun to play, are the ones, and this is I think a real challenge I think about a lot in role-playing games. The challenge of getting a party together and getting them all focused on like one particular. What's this here?
It's a little phone ring.
It is. I think there's
Somebody in the
going
chat
off
was calling you.
and my wife doesn't know about it. Let me just
go?
go mute
You
it
go?
real quick.
Yeah.
Just one
I'll
sec.
keep everybody busy, don't
Yeah,
worry.
just one sec.
This is the Justin Show now. I am the host and I... Okay, that was bad. If you're just joining us, thanks. My name's Justin. Ask me anything. This is an AMA now. It's all about me. Carson's back, but he can't hear us yet, so just be okay. And he's cool.
Okay, sorry guys. Thanks everyone. What I was saying is the things that kind of like rub me wrong is like when you're trying to get a party of individuals together toward one common goal, but at the same time, the games that like if you're all like, oh sure, yeah, okay, I do it, and there's not a lot of buy-in from your character and like personal, interest in what you're doing, it's not as fun to play. But especially the difficulty is running a game where folks start to lean too far on the like, well, I don't believe in this, and I'm gonna walk away, and causing a lot of like, drama within a party that's like makes it very difficult to be like, oh, how can we move forward? Which, so for me, I can't think of any like a specific like game, but those are always the moments where I walk away from a game going like, oh, that was hard. Which is interesting because in Blades you might see there's sometimes they're gonna butt heads, and
Butt
I don't
blades. Butt blades.
Butt blades. We're gonna butt blades sometimes.
But I had a butt blade once. This is made me think of Beyblades now, and I want to talk about Beyblades.
Lightfoot. The halfling.
Was it Lightfoot?
That's the last name. Lena, maybe.
Lena Lightfoot.
Halfling
Rogue.
Is it Lena? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look this up at some point. The box, it was like 2003 or 2006. It was like a 3.5. Anyway, I'll find it someday, and then I'll tell everybody about it. Anyway. Oh, of the new Green Room intro song. I will have to go back and watch it.
We're gonna change
the Justin
name
Show.
to the Justin Show.
Okay, but literally I was calling that earlier today.
The Justin Show.
Not out of any disrespect. I couldn't. It was off the top of my head. Couldn't remember the Green Room, and I mentioned to someone. It's the Justin Show.
I'll take that. I'm flattered. Yeah. It's my goal that one day somebody else could host the show if they wanted to. So I mean, because the green room it's a community place.
Yeah.
Other people.
Well,
so.
Sometimes you gotta go on stage.
I'm just
someone's
squatting.
gotta hold down the green room. Yeah,
I'm
that's
just,
it.
like camped out back here. I only have one scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you were me in that high school play where I could go on in the second act at the end and go, the house is gonna blow up or whatever, and then
everyone gasps and it's blackout, and then you're gone.
And then you're like, you take a bow and cry at closing night. That's how it is.
You made all your memories. You signed a brick in the back hallway.
Yep, exactly. Oh man.
And SVB 5, what's up? The butt blades.
Yeah, a butt blade is a good way of putting
putting
that where you're like, oh, butt blade.
Butt blade. Butt blade. This just in. Butt blades. Are they dangerous?
Ladies and gentlemen, butt blades.
I want that to be an SNL thing now. Like a band, and then somebody has to introduce them. But it's like Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. That was a good question, though. I think about that. Kate, what makes games good and what makes games not so fun?
Okay. So, what question was I going to ask you next?
Hey, what do you got for me? I'm in the hot seat.
We should jump to talk about Aldo a little bit. So, for anybody who hasn't watched Contraband, shame. Tell us a little bit about Aldo. No spoilers, no major spoilers, I guess. But who is he?
Aldo's a curious soul. He also is generally very friendly. In the world of the game, he comes from a country called Catalan, which is not part of. It's a little bit farther away from where our campaign is set in Duskwall. A little bit of his history, a little bit of there's been some military experience in the Imperial military, and has obviously learned a lot of things, maybe from his experience there, maybe from other stuff, but likely for the military. Was a field doctor by training, so getting out there and patching people up, sending them back out, but also his curious nature led him down to study things, gadgets, and explosives and experimental drugs, usually, for helping. What's Aldo about everything? Yeah, he's always helping. But yeah, very much pretty upbeat individual, has some strong convictions from time to time, slightly religious. Well, I guess.
Because you described him earlier as kind of like a priest. Is that? I mean, that's what you said.
Not quite exactly. No, but
okay.
Definitely, devoted to, at least the ideas and tenets of an old, literally called the old faith within Duskwall. So, yeah, I don't think anything in there is. Yeah, the old faith. The old faith. And that sounds creepy, but actually that's not. There's creepy stuff, plenty if you've been watching,
Creepy ghosts.
Ghosts witchy
in the machine,
things.
Outside
Yeah, lots
the machine. They're trapped out there.
Wherever they're at, they're still ghosting,
Ghosting.
Yeah.
Ghosting butt blades. Very cool. There's so much, it's still early in this campaign for you guys, so I don't want to dig too much deeper into Aldo.
Don't worry, I'll know where to stop if you go too deep.
well, let me ask you this. This was something I believe Kate asked this question last week of Annie and Darrington, who were on last week from Zoa. And I loved the question. I think it was Kate. Maybe it was somebody else. Forgive me if it was somebody else. But really good question. What is one thing that you have in common with Aldo that like really, you know, at the core? And what is one big thing that you think you really differ with from him?
That's a really good question.
It is, right?
I think I think that's interesting. I hope I won't say stabbing people with syringes though. But I think honestly there is a guilt. This is interesting. I think there's a guilt kind of drive to Aldo, and whether or not that, you know, has come through, or whether or not we know about what necessarily, but there's definitely like a guilt like aspect to this character, and I think to a lot of the characters I make, because I think I as a person will, I mean, this is not unique to me as a person, but carry plenty of guilt around, you know, things that you know, we regret, or things that we wish we could change, or things that were done and over with and have moved on, but still sit somewhere as kind of a driving force for how we want to be. And so I think there is a similarity there that I think keeps me kind of attached to Aldo, outside of just like, oh, it's fun to stab people with you know, needles, and to create fun little, you know, contraptions to blow stuff up with. But and one thing I guess I really differ with from Aldo, that is a very good question as well. This is really good.
Well, you're giving really deep answers too, and that's really kind. I you know, I would have said,
hey, I'm an open book, baby.
I like to
eat, and so does Aldo. I like chicken. Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for the sub. And SVB.
Oh yeah.
I'm not allowed to dox you, so I will call you by your name. Call you by your name.
And SVB5.
And SVB5.
Yeah, I'd say the thing that maybe I'm most different from Aldo about.
Oh, I just realized that was a gifted sub.
I think.
Thank you, Kate.
Kate. Oh, and Kate. Oh, Kate.
Thanks, Demonstra, for getting gifted.
Yeah, I think it's hard. It's hard to settle in on one.
Sure.
Just because I think I'm trying to bleed a little heavy into my character.
Well, that actually leads me into the next question here, because and I think this was kind of the final question I want to ask about Aldo, but in more of a meta sense, you know, is this the typical kind of character that you like to play? Is this something a little out of your comfort zone? What was your thinking in building him specifically?
Well, I will now wax poetic probably, but I tend to like my given my choice. You know, you line me up in front of all the characters, like 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna pick like a paladin, you know, who's a good guy, you know, who's generally, you know, maybe not lawful good, but definitely neutral good, you know. You know, definitely wants to make good things happen, protect people, you know, make the sacrifice. Like, that's a very typical move. I think I just like, well, 2 things. I like that feeling, and I also like plate armor and holy magic. So what are you gonna do about it? That being said, lately, and especially in the last year and a half or a couple of years, it's been fun to kind of, I don't know, think beyond that and a little bit outside that. And Blades is definitely a world that asks you to buy into a couple of things. Blades in the Dark being the system that we use in Contraband, or well, it is, yeah, not the system, it is the game. And I think it's been fun to like Blades in the Dark asks you to say, hey, you're a criminal, you want to be a criminal and you want to get better at it, like, or generally it's like, you want to do good for your team, and you want to be ambitious and scrappy, and you're definitely, doing things against the law. And so it's fun to kind of play within that and figure out, what are these people like? So in approaching, I think, building Aldo out, it definitely has a sense of something I build into my characters, I think, lately, which is that sort of like sense of duty and wanting to be good. And I think we're seeing that in Aldo, I think, in this campaign, a little bit of wanting to make good things for his friends, make good things for the crew. She's, been through a lot in our pre-streaming days of coming to this point. But
nice. That's great.
Yeah.
We have 2 good questions in the chat here. Do you DM? Do you master the games?
Do I master them?
And also, if you do, what do you run? What do you typically run system-wise?
Yeah, I like to DM games, and I have really to preface that is, like, I started playing, like, really actually getting to play role-playing games mostly in college. And then after that, it became clear, it's like, well, if I want to play this with my friends, I'm going to have to, like, GM this stuff. And it's fun to come up with worlds and have fun and surprise your friends. And so I've done that. Mostly what I DM has been 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Haven't done too much else outside of it, though. I've always entertained and explored the ideas, but mostly because, anyone who DMs knows that there's definitely an investment from the DM running the whole thing. And so if you haven't DM'd, I guess I always say, like, you can do it, but also, there is a feeling of, like, having to be prepared. So lately I've been DMing a lot of pre-written stuff, just because it's easiest to prep, and my real life job, unfortunately, that I have, takes work sometimes and effort. And then I also have other things and hobbies I'm doing. And so that's why I haven't DM'd in quite a while, but I would love to do more of it. I've sort of thought, I have ideas that pop into my head, and then they don't quite see it. But it's been, honestly, a super fun break to play as much as I have gotten to, especially in this pandemic. So yeah,
I think that's fantastic. I'm with you. I know I was about to read that, but to quick follow-up statement to what you just said. No, I lost it. Never mind.
The butt blade. I got a butt blade now.
Yeah, you've been given a butt blade. Thank you, ECAT Carter. Also,
thank you very much.
Ans5 thinks that butt blades need to be a new feat that you can use in Blades in the Dark. So
I think that's fine with me.
Yeah, talk to. I'll talk
to Ted. Yeah, Ted, get him. He'll let me take it. It's a cool new ability I can take. Yeah.
Better yet, just spring it on him,
Yeah.
Just heal
and that's what, actually, to talk about that, and especially in the system, there's been a whole lot of, like, it's been very fun in this system to just branch out, because, like, I think most of what I've done is within Dungeons and Dragons, and so it's fun to like stretch out into new systems, and the system and the people. I just feel so lucky to be playing with the group that we have. It's just been fun to get to know them.
Fantastic group.
Oh my gosh, it's super, super, super fun and rewarding, because there's just, like, popping off back and forth, and just, like, we'll introduce something to Ted and he'll pick it up and walk with it, or he'll throw something at us, or we'll throw it at each other, and it's just, like, been really yes-anding. I just am, I guess, expressing gratitude for that, because that feels lucky to me, at least. It's been a lot of fun.
Great. That's great. I want to ask you, as we begin to wrap up here.
Yeah.
Or I should say, before we wrap up, I want to ask you a few questions. So I don't know if a lot of the audience knows that you are not only a player for Contraband, you are also what we in Ghostlight call the producer of the Contraband, and that just means you are essentially running all of the tech, all of the streaming aspects, and the audio and the scene changes, and I mean, just you're managing all of it. How are you? This is more just me selfishly kind of wanting to talk to you about this, because I do the same thing for Zoa, and I've done it for a few other shows in the past, but it's very different doing it for Zoa because I'm also leading it.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Well,
like,
I ran
you're doing
it
awesome.
for Blood of My Blood, and very similar to what you were doing, I was a player and I was also running it. So like, I have a few questions, but like, what would you say? I don't know. How's it going over? First of all, like, just an overview. Like, are you enjoying doing both things? Is it getting a little tricky at times?
Those are good questions. I think anyone who came to our premiere knows there was a wonderful technical issue that set us back about an hour. That was like one of those kinds of things where you go,
I get it.
Couldn't have planned this, and thank you very much, technology. You've done a great job today. Which but other than that, I feel like it's generally gone, pretty smoothly. There were some things that I learned about myself. This is, I don't know. Here I go waxing philosophical, but I'll try to be to the point. But yeah, I think I have enjoyed doing it just because I think there's a lot in my background and training, within the theater as a stage manager and as a technical director, and then also legitimately I am the raid leader for my World of Warcraft guild. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically herding.
You don't have to explain it to me.
Right.
WoW all the time.
Oh yeah, that's right. We established this. Yeah, you play a lot of World of Warcraft. You're
I was
like
one of
world
the
first
1,000 players in the docket.
Azeroth.
Yep. In the Azeroth.
Yeah.
But
there you go.
Maybe tell the audience in case they don't know.
Basically, it's just like herding 20 cats against a big internet boss, and you're basically needing to coordinate and tell them where to go and when and this and that. I mean, they're not brainless individuals. They
couldn't have said it better
manage their own things. But there is that aspect of I also need to do the damage and also tell everyone what to do. So that with the stage managing and the stuff, I think has sort of got a little bit of experience under my belt, multitasking, like kind of certain technical elements while trying to be present. However, that first week I learned this. Streaming as the producer, and then also playing. Sometimes it's hard. It was hard to not like disengage from the game to focus on the other stuff, to be like, oh my gosh, what do I got to do to figure this things out? I'm reading the chat and stuff, and it really kind of got into my head, honestly, that first session where I was like, where I was going, I'm not as like engaged like as the player, and not in a way that's like I want to do that so I have more fun, but I just felt like I wasn't as like present, ready there. And so the next session obviously was much easier and started out right because we fixed that big major problem and have sort of paved a few things that and I've sort of just told myself, look, if a technical issue is going to pop up, we're going to handle it as we need to handle it. For me, it was about, creating the game and enjoyment and like engagement first. And so like, that's where I like watch you do Zoa, and I know you're running it and I know you're also producing it. And I'm like, man, give this guy an award for heaven's sake. My goodness.
It's not that hard. It's okay, real quick. I gotta clear this up in the chat here.
Oh, what are we doing? Are we fighting in the chat? What's going on?
Yeah, I gotta I've been sussed out. I have not played World of Warcraft. Okay. I lied. Ugh.
You wouldn't even know the first thing about World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I don't even know about Azermoth. I don't know about it. There's a horde. Here's what I do know about. Hang on, let me tell you everything I do know about.
Yeah, give me the list. Give me the list of what you know.
There's a horde.
Yes.
And there are. Oh no, I'm getting it confused with Warhammer. Actually, hang on a second.
Well, there's a lot of crossover there.
Is there?
I mean, there's some heavy
There's
inspirations from
orcs,
a lot of different.
because I saw the
Yep.
trailer for that Warcraft movie that
For the
came
movie,
out.
yeah, there's orcs.
There's orcs,
Yeah.
and then there's also humans, and they
There
fight.
are orcs. Yes, in fact, that is the name of the first RTS.
They
Orcs
fight.
and humans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They do fight.
you
You did it. You know Warcraft now. Yeah, ECAT
Yes.
Carter's not gonna let you get away.
They don't. She doesn't.
Nope.
She keeps me in check. That's.
Yep.
That's what friends do.
Zone of truth. I gotta say, I had a really good. This is a side note too. Before I had even met you, I had met ECAT Carter.
Hey, got Carter.
Yeah, playing in a ridiculous. I mean, it was awesome, but ridiculous, huge Dark Plane game that Graham was running
Yes.
over Slack. So it was all text based. I'm sure it's maybe been brought up before, but
Yeah.
that was a super fun time because it was role playing with strangers that I hadn't met, and in this case, had not met nor had even been introduced. They were just like people existing in the world. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, I really enjoyed.
You know what's funny is I was in that game.
Oh, were you?
Well, for the first couple weeks.
And
I
then
dropped out.
I mean, it got wild.
And here's the thing, and I love him for it, but Graham can do such lore and such great depth. Here's my problem, and this is actually like something that I am kind of vulnerable. I mean, like, this is something that I do kind of. I don't tell a lot of people this because it's a little embarrassing to me, but I'm a pretty slow reader. I just, I tend to I have to reread the sentence a lot to comprehend it, I guess. I don't know how that happened, because like when I was a kid, I was really good at reading comprehension, and then like I stalled out somewhere along the way. Point is, when it's like, it's role play that is nothing but reading, and then like it's going, and people are, and I'm like, I can't keep up. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. So I was like, Graham, I love you. I love this.
It's a lot.
It's more stress than fun at this point.
Yeah.
I have to bow out.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely valid and true. And I think there were definitely like waves during that big text-based thing where I was the same, where I'd be like, I have disappeared for like a week and a half because now I'm gonna have to get caught up. But had some crazy times in there, but I didn't know. I was like starting to think, I was like, okay, which random stranger were you?
I was a human monk. I decided to go as like bread and butter as possible. It's just like,
I love it.
What's something basic?
Oh,
Thanks,
fun.
Sumkey. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's the same. I was gonna also follow up. I forgot to say that, but yeah, that's like, I think I don't read very, very, very quickly either. I don't think very well and handle things. My other problem is that I also don't have the patience to go back and then read it again. So oftentimes I screw myself up a lot because I'll have learned something wrong and then think about it anyway.
I am really good at memorizing. I
Yes.
don't know why. I'm good at that and not the other thing, but like, I can memorize really fast. So or at least I could. And then quarantine happened, and I've
who knows
lost the
anymore?
skill probably.
Yeah. Some key. Yes, no one reads in Discords. That's my big. Can I get on a soapbox?
Sure, please.
Here's my soap. Yeah, thank you.
It was a heavy.
On my. This is
it was
to
still
nobody.
full of soap.
Oh, thank you.
Good.
I'm a member of a few Discord communities, and for me, my favorite Discord communities are the ones that are small enough that I know who's in there or what's going on. I also do like a Discord community that's very active, where I go, oh, I have this random question, and you can sometimes get like an instant feedback about whatever, World of Warcraft, let's say, because we're on that topic.
Sure.
But I've been reading all this stuff about forums that are shutting down because they're going to put all of their, that they're going to shut the forums down and then just use Discord instead for forums. And I think that is the worst idea for this very example right now, because nobody does read in Discord and the things go by so fast. And I don't know who's sitting in Discord all day, like able to do that kind of thing. I can't do that at work or whatever else, and so the conversation moves past. Whereas, in a forum style, I do not know why I'm saying this now, but thank you everyone for listening. Just let it be known, forums forever. But also, I like Discord, but only in small bits. Forums forever. Thank you.
Should we? I feel like we should have like a community Discord.
That's
something
we could do? Honestly, there could be like a Ghostlight community that's hopping. I mean, we at the very least a meme channel. My goodness,
a meme channel.
That would be very fun.
Somebody get on that. I don't know how to make memes.
Somebody can do it. Or at the very least, the Sumkey Kate pun sanctorium.
The Sumkey Kate pun center.
Exactly.
You guys will come up with a punnier name for it, I'm sure.
It's in the works. Okay.
It's in the works.
Consider me teased.
I did my part.
Ooh. I'll get active in it.
Get active. Bring your soaps. Bring your boxes. Let's clean it up and then box it up.
Yeah, thank you everyone for following me on my forum tangent. As you can tell, I got a lot of trains of thought that leave the station, and I follow them all at the same time. It's pretty wild.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kate, these are good suggestions. I don't know.
They are.
We should really talk to our community about community things more often, especially on Green Room. I feel like this is nothing but like, me just talking to the community, and I feel like I really want to find ways to connect more.
I think that's fun. Honestly, it's been good to
give me a platform.
Oh, that is funny. Oh my gosh. I want to read these essays, to be honest. I don't want to, well, I do, but also don't, but I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not honestly something I think about a lot as far as like audience perception of our game or our characters. For me at least, and this is speaking as just someone who's playing in it, who's invested in making it fun and making it look good. But I want it to be fun to watch. I want it to be, exciting and interesting. But other than that, I honestly haven't sat around going, I wonder what they think of this or this character or these people. I don't know. It's interesting. Not that I'm, I don't know. I guess maybe a lot of that happens in chat during the game a little bit. It's kind of fun to have that instant feedback.
It is. No, it is. It's part of what makes it's like regular role playing, the collaborative storytelling we were talking about earlier. But there's a third element that is damn it, I got distracted in mid-sentence and because I saw Justin on the Green Room fanfic.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
All of these suggestions. But yeah,
They're
there's
really
a third
good.
element that is that energy that you get from theater. That is there are people there interacting with each other as they experience a thing together live as it's happening. There's something so special about that.
It's been cool.
Yeah.
It's been cool to do that because honestly, it's been hard not to be involved with something like theatrically creative, whatever that is. Oh my gosh.
ECAT Carter, I swear, you better be serious because that is gonna gain traction fast.
I love it. Wait, now I'm turning this interview around on ECAT Carter. ECAT Carter, do you write fanfic like generally?
I'll let her answer, but
it'll be on the delay here. And also I will ask Ted about this essay about the girl, because I also have essays about the girl, but probably not as smart as yours. Okay, what's the thing?
I was gonna say, I've been friends with ECAT Carter for so long, and yet I've never read any of her fanfic, and now I really want to. I mean, I've read a lot of her plays. I mean, I've seen some of her plays, and that's kind of like fanfic, right?
It's a lot. Yeah, it's just like fanfic. Exactly.
I mean, in a way, Spellbound is like one big fanfic, so.
Oh,
you know, ECAT.
Yeah, I know. I am sad to say that somehow I haven't actually listened to it yet, and please don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad.
I will.
Look, I understand.
I'm gonna go subscribe right now. Okay.
You should at least subscribe. But yeah, everyone go subscribe to Spellbound because it's fantastic. But also, as much as I love it, if I wasn't currently caught up, I probably would be it would be hard for me to catch up. I'm so bad at, like, if something has, like, already 20 episodes or more, it's, like, impossible for me to get interested. I feel like I've already missed the boat. It's too late for me. I feel the same way about, like I have to stay current with, like, other role-playing shows and stuff. That's right. And I'm just ranting now. This is my soapbox.
This is what this is. You do it. Get on your soapbox. I'm here to support you on your soapbox. Here, let me help you up.
It smells good.
Yes, it's nice.
Lavender soaps. Shit. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about. This is what happens.
You were saying something about.
Oh,
being caught up with things.
This is one of my big things when we created Ghostlight. I really was adamant that we keep storylines and campaigns palatable. We keep them short,
of a manageable size.
So we're never getting up into 50 episodes or more because, I just think it's, you at that point you've created your audience base, and as loyal as they are and as fantastic as they are, it's like it doesn't really feel like you're giving anybody else a chance to get into it. So
yeah, I totally see what you mean by that. I'm definitely I love a one act. I'm that kind of guy who's like, 90 minutes, no intermission. Don't mind if I do.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but I totally know what you mean. What's funny about that though is, like, this is not unique to a lot of people, but the first thing I actually started watching seriously on Twitch was Critical Role during season 1. We don't even need to plug them because they don't need it. But what I mean to say is that what's funny about that is, like, I totally agree with you. And then somehow I jumped in at, like, episode 81 or whatever, just started watching. And then just, like, it was so backwards from like I was the guy on the soapbox. I still am. Like, I still am an advocate of that because it is hard to get in. I fell behind one time on Critical Role and I've never gone back because of that very, reason or whatever. Just because it's but I thought it was so weird that sometimes the stars align and all of a sudden I was like, I am watching this. And I don't know anybody. I don't know what's going on. But then, you pest your friend. Anyway. Side story. Now I was just saying something random.
It's okay. Do you need to go? We're 5 minutes over.
Probably here. Yeah, in the next couple minutes. If there's a last question, that's fine. But probably
He's offering up one last question. Whoever can type the fastest.
Yeah, or if there was a question that was asked that we missed. I don't know.
Let me scroll back through here.
I don't know if there was.
Let's see. I am a playwright.
We'll give everyone a second to. Yeah, 90-minute, no intermission,
Hicks.
all day. Favorite pun. See, I'm so bad at puns. There is some joke, and I'm sorry that I don't know the joke at all. I don't even know the setup. But the punchline is rectum damn near killed him. And it gets me so bad. You can just say the punchline and I don't know what it is. Anyway, that's that.
I prefer to now only hear jokes with just the punchline. I don't want to know the joke. I just want to hear the punchline.
If the punchline's good, I feel like you already like
you
at that
can
point
put the pieces together. I kind of see where it was coming from.
And so that it's not exactly a pun more than it's a punchline, but it is one that I could, like, just put a finger on.
Don't put your finger on the rectum.
No, damn near killed him. Oh, it's so funny. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna take a little break here in a moment. We're gonna say goodbye to Carson, and when we come back, I'm gonna paint Star-Lord.
Very cool.
There he is. I'm gonna paint Star-Lord when we get back, of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm gonna paint him
him.
as if Carson is underneath that helmet, though. So, I mean, I'm gonna
That's
paint him the
very
exact
special.
same way, but just in your mind, think about it. It's really Carson in there.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's my gift to you. Amazing. Well, Carson, thank you for so much.
Yeah.
I started a new job not too long ago, and it's been a lot of newness for me, and a little bit of like
A lot of new jobs.
a lot of new, just kind of brain power working overdrive kind of thing. And so anyway, I needed this tonight, and I thank you for it. And wait, we got one last thing to go out on here. Favorite punchlines. Picture this: you're naked in a refrigerator.
See, that's a funny punchline.
It's just a
and,
punchline.
and I've heard the joke, but I can't remember it. That's how you know it's a good joke. The punchline is strong enough.
Okay. Fantastic.
So good. But
right.
thanks for having me, Justin, very much. I appreciate it. And thanks, chat, for being
You're welcome back
fun tonight.
Anytime. Everyone, go watch Carson on The Contraband Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I will be right back to paint. We're going to go to a brief intermission, and I'll be right back. Thanks so much. See you soon.
Bye.